Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Winnie.
And today we're looking at part 2 of our article called Help Yourself by Being on Time. Now, Winnie, you said you're usually on time, but are there some times when you are actually late?
Oh boy, I don't like talking about this because I don't like being late. But because I live in a different city and I have to drive myself, that means I have to find parking spaces in Taipei. And as everyone knows, Taipei has a lot of cars, a lot of traffic, and particularly there was this one day I could not find a parking spot. So I would have been like an hour early to our shoot. I ended up being about 20 minutes late because I just couldn't find a parking spot. So sometimes, even if you are early, like for example, today you were early, but some things that you just cannot control will make you end up being late.
Yeah. Sometimes there's things that get in your way and you don't have any control over it, but still, people might think you're a late person just because you arrived late 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, and they don't remember the times I was early. Yeah, but anyway, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about why being early or being on time is good for you. So this is part 2 of Help Yourself by Being on Time.
Being on time is good for your wallet, too. You may have bills for your phone, house, and school. When you don't pay on time, the companies charge you a late fee.
Hello there. Today we are looking at part 2 of our article, Help Yourself by Being on Time. So last time in part 1, we talked about how being on time is, good for you because it means you won't have to rush or have to cancel any things like meetings. And it also lets other people think of you as someone who is responsible and someone that they can put their trust in.
Yes, always good to leave some extra time at the beginning. But let's start our article. So, being on time is good for your wallet too. You may have bills for your phone, house, and school. So this is important. This is important because especially when you become an adult, you will need to make money. And you will need to take that money and pay for things like your bills. So a bill is an amount of money that is owed for something. So usually when you move out of your parents' house, you're going to have to pay for things like your electricity bill, your phone bill, and maybe even your internet bill, okay? But you could also say, for example, you go to a restaurant, you can ask for the bill when you are done eating, and so you pay for what you ate. Yeah, so that's also what a bill is.
That's right. Okay, continuing with the article. When you don't pay on time, the companies charge you a late fee.
Ooh, hate getting those.
That's right. So if your bills pile up and you don't pay them, then you might get another bill a month later with some extra fees because you are late, and the company will charge you that fee.
So they're going to charge your phone for you? That's so nice.
Well, that's one definition of the word charge, meaning to add, electricity or even to add money to something, as in your card for the MRT. You might charge your card by adding money. But in this case, we're talking about asking for money from someone in exchange for something, for goods, products, or for services, for things that they've done. In this case, they're not really doing anything, but they're charging you a late fee. They're asking you money for being late.
Right, so in this case, it's not very nice for you.
No, you don't want to be charged late fees.
Yeah, well, speaking of fees, that is our noun, and it is basically a payment made for a professional service or a fine. So a fine, it could be used as a punishment, something when you do something bad, you get punished, okay? So in this case, for example, you could say libraries charge a late fee for if when you don't return your book right away, you will get a late fee because if you don't return it, maybe that book, maybe they never see that book ever again. And so they have to make some money by charging a fee. So it's kind of like a punishment.
That's right. So that's another way that you can save money is by returning your library books on time.
Yep.
And this saving money through, through being early reminds me of a time when I saved some money, sort of, by being early. So one time I was in Turkey, in Istanbul, and I had to go to the airport to take my flight out of Turkey. So I got up real early and I got on the bus to the airport.
Nice.
So as we were on the road to the airport, I realized through looking at my ticket that I was going to the wrong airport.
Oh no. So they had two airports.
So there are two airports in Istanbul and they're on opposite sides of the city.
Yikes.
So
But how did you save money?
Well, I had to spend money to save money because when I finally got to the wrong airport, I got off the bus and immediately found a taxi that would take me to the right airport.
Okay.
So, I was still on time for my flight. I didn't miss my flight, so I saved money by not having to cancel my flight, by being early enough to still make it. But of course, I did still have to pay a lot of money to take the taxi from one airport to the other airport.
Yeah, but like you said, it's a good thing you got up early enough so that you could make a mistake.
Because I'm so on time, I still made my flight.
Okay, well, there you go. See, this is another way you could kind of, this is another fear, but in this case, it helped you. Yeah, but we'll take a break and we'll see other ways being on time will benefit us.
If you're in the habit of paying late, those fees can add up. So pay on time. You can save a lot of money. To help you be on time, write important events on your calendar. Keep track of them, and when the time comes, take action early. Being on time is a good habit to have.
Welcome back. So before the break, we talked about how being on time with your money is also a good thing because if you pay your bills on time, you won't get these late fees that the companies will charge you when you are late.
Yep, exactly. So continuing on with that, if you're in the habit of paying late, those fees can add up. So pay on time. You can save a lot of money. And I think usually when I am not on time, I always think, oh, yeah, I'll pay it later. And then you get another bill and you're like, I thought I paid that. And then those kind of add up and then you end up spending money that you could have saved, right? It was unnecessary, but yeah.
Right. So when we say that things add up, so these late fees add up, it means that they are, more and more. They're on top of each other. They're adding up. You can think of it like a pile of late fees.
Yikes.
And there is more and more going on top. So it's adding up and becoming a greater number, in this case, of the charge that you will have to pay.
Yeah.
So if you have late fees from, 5 different bills, then that's a lot of late fees to pay. And that's money that you could have spent somewhere else.
Yeah, especially if, it's money that if you had just set a reminder, you didn't have to spend that money.
All right, continuing with the article, to help you be on time, write important events on your calendar.
Matt, I know this about you. You're very traditional. You're very tech savvy, but in this instance, you're very traditional in which, you keep a calendar.
I like to have a physical, actual calendar, not just the one in my phone.
Yeah.
That I can actually write things on. Because I think it helps to have something that you can look at without having to open your phone. Often when you do, unlock your phone, you get distracted by other things on there and you're busy with other things.
Yeah.
But with having the calendar, I just go, oh, that's when I have to work.
Right.
That's when I get to go travel.
Yes.
And I think it also helps me to plan my travel plans because I like to look at when I'm leaving and when I can return.
Because on the phone, it's kind of, you kind of sometimes only see it day by day. So this brings me to describe what a calendar is. And when we're talking about a traditional calendar, we're talking about a book or a planner that shows you the days, the weeks, the months of the year. So usually, it could be a book like this, or it could be those like, you see them in the movies, right? And I remember one Christmas, I gave you a calendar because I know you're one of the only people I know who actually keeps a physical one. Because nowadays we have them all in our phone, like you said, an app or something. But continuing on, keep track of them, and when the time comes, take action early. So when we're talking about them, we're talking about things like bills and things that you have to pay or events that you want to, kind of keep track of.
All right, so to keep track of something means to be aware of any of the changes or any of the things that are upcoming that might be important. So in this case, when you keep track of these events, you're just going to be aware that these events are coming and when they are coming.
Yeah.
You might also, keep track of a sports team by following up on their latest scores, on their wins and losses, and just how they're doing overall.
Right. It's important to keep track of a lot of things, and a calendar really helps. For example, for us, we have so many things to film all week, and for different departments, we don't really know sometimes who's on what day, and you have football, so you don't know which day you have what. So it's good to have a calendar so that you can see where I need to be on which day.
All right, so back to the article. Being on time is a good habit to have.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I think it's just something that, if you get used to being on time, and then you can always be on time, it's just a habit, something that you do, naturally, that can help you in your life. And being late is a bad habit that sometimes people slip into. And so it's good to remind you that you should try to be on time.
Well, I will say that I didn't always used to be someone who is always on time. I used to kind of sleep until I could really push the limit of when I have to leave the house. But then I realized that I'm actually rushing even more. Like, for example, if I have to leave the house at 8, I used to wake up at 7:45, but then you get anxious and you're still late. So being on time really is something that you kind of have to practice. Yeah, but hopefully you have learned something. I know I have, and we'll see you in the next episode.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Being on time is good for your wallet, too. You may have bills for your phone, house, and school. When you don't pay on time, the companies charge you a late fee. If you're in the habit of paying late, those fees can add up. So pay on time. You can save a lot of money. To help you be on time, write important events on your calendar. Keep track of them, and when the time comes, take action early. Being on time is a good habit to have.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 bill 名词账单。Dad paid the bill before leaving the restaurant. 爸爸在离开餐厅前付账了。下一个单字 charge 动词收费。They charge extra for delivery. 他们有额外收取运费。Delivery 指的是运送、投递。下一个单字 fee 名词费用。那么 late fee 指的就是滞纳金。The fee for the class is $100. 这门课的费用是$100。最后一个单字 calendar 名词行事历。Paul marked the important events on the calendar. Paul 在行事历上标记了重要的事件。接着我们来看重点玩法。第一个 in the habit of 加上 VING 有做某事的习惯。Habit 表示习惯，我们来看看这个例句。 My mom is in the habit of exercising every morning. 我妈妈有每天早晨运动的习惯。下一个文法 add up， 逐渐累积增加。主词呢大多为事物 ，add 是增加的意思。我们来看看这个例句 ：All the expenses began to add up quickly. 所有的开支开始迅速累积。Expense 指的是开支花费。最后一个文法 take action 采取行动，这是一个固定用法。Action 指的是行动行为。我们来看看这个例句 ：We need to take action to solve the problem. 我们需要采取行动来解决这个问题。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，回去记得复习哦。我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Choo choo! All aboard! Today, we are going to learn about a special train station known as Sheng-Hsing Station. It's been around for ages, and although it's no longer in operation, it's still a worthwhile spot to visit and explore. Take a trip to Sanyi to experience the old mountain line. At 402.326 meters, Sheng-Hsing Station was once the highest train station in Taiwan. Sheng-Hsing Station used to be a train station on the Taizong line. The station closed in 1998 because of a route change. Nonetheless, this little station has become a popular location for tourists, and the area around it is now a railway-themed shopping district. Sheng-Hsing Station is now more than 100 years old. The entire station was built out of wood and not a single nail was used. On weekends, street performers play musical instruments, sing, and perform balloon tricks in front of the station. On the right of the square next to Sheng-Hsing Station is an old well that is now closed. However, in honor of the well, the government built the Sheng-Hsing Spring Pavilion and set a pump for visitors. When you have a chance, come to Sanyi and enjoy the slow pace of life. Although Sheng-Hsing Station is no longer used as an actual train station, it still is a landmark worth visiting. So next time you're in Sanyi, make sure to stop by Sheng-Hsing Station.